can't stay like this. It won't work. When I lost Aokiji, I realized something. I said to myself, you keep running into guys that are stronger and stronger, unless you can get stronger too. You can't protect your friends. And I want to. They're not all strong like me, but either way, they're my friends and I want to keep them. So I have to get stronger than anyone else. Otherwise, there's a chance I could lose them.
Then what are you gonna do?
I thought of a new way to fight with all my might. So that I won't lose anyone. So I won't let anyone slip away from me.
What's happening to him? What's going on inside his body?
That did it. You won't be able to stop me now.
What?
All my strength and techniques just went up by one step. Second gear!
One Piece has been ongoing for 20 years, and during that time, Luffy has gotten so much stronger.
No shit.
Luffy has also developed some interesting moves and used his rubber powers, which some have claimed to be the most useless power, and turned into one of the most powerful devil fruits in the series, even before its true nature was even revealed. And honestly, if I could have any anime power, I would honestly choose the Gum Gum fruit. Be pretty high up on my list. One of the most powerful techniques Luffy has developed to date is his gears. Luffy has 6 gears in total, although 2 are just alterations of Gear 4, which I'll get to right now. Gear 1 is literally just Luffy. He considers his rubber body a single gear, so there's really no point about talking in it. First revealed in Enies lobby during his fight against Bluno, Luffy explains that after he lost to Aokiji during the Long Ring Long Island arc, he wanted to become stronger to protect his friends, otherwise he might lose them. And boy was he right. Gear 2 works by Luffy using the fact that his body is made of rubber to pump blood through it faster, doubling everything, his speed, strength, literally everything. His body also becomes so hot that when he activates Gear 2, his sweat literally turns to steam. When he activates second gear, Luffy is able to quickly defeat Bluno, but no awesome power comes without its drawbacks. Overdosing on Gear 2 will eat up Luffy's nutrients, stamina, and even his own life. It seems like the risk of draining Luffy's life is no more after the time skip, probably after training with it more and more. Gear 2 is still used even now after being introduced almost 15 years ago. It's been 16 arcs / 6 sagas since Enies lobby, and it's really interesting that Gear 2 is still used, because it's so useful. You don't see Naruto using One-Tail Cloak anymore, Goku using Kaioken ×2 very often. Just like Gear 2, Gear 3 was first introduced during Enies lobby. Luffy first mentioned Gear 3 during his fight with Bluno, just like Gear 2, seeing it as its last resort, but then Bluno passed out, blue balling us viewers. Then Luffy used Gear 3 to destroy the steel door that led to the Gates of Justice, where Rob Lucci and Spondum and Robin were going. We were blue-balled once again when it was shown off-screen. All we saw was the side effect, which is Luffy becoming small. We do finally see Luffy's Gear 3 during his fight with Rob Lucci, when he punches him through the walls of Enies lobby onto a warship. Gear 3 works by Luffy biting down on his thumb like he's going to turn into the Attack Titan, and blows air into his bones, inflating his arm. But he has also been shown at times to be able to move the air throughout his body, like into his stomach or legs. Luffy later, when he learns Arm Haki, uses this to make his Gear 3 stronger, and just like with Gear 2, after the 2-year time skip, Gear 3 has no more side effects, at least none that I know of. And Gear 3 is honestly my least favorite of all the gears. It seems too simple, like simply blowing up a single part of your body. I think it would be cooler if Luffy's Gear 3 was his entire body becoming giant like he does with Gear 5, but just a single body part doesn't seem as cool to me. Introduced in Dressrosa, Gear 4, more specifically Bounce Man, is used by Luffy during his final fight against Doflamingo. Gear 4 works by Luffy blowing air into his muscles, just like with Gear 3, but unlike Gear 3, Luffy blows air directly into his muscle, and also combines this with Arm Haki, making this one of his most powerful transformations, which was the strongest gear for like 6 or 7 years. Gear 4 also increases his strength and speed, and I believe it increases how far he can stretch based off of his Python attack. Gear 4 gives Luffy the ability to fly by kicking the air so fast and strongly that he bounces in the air. Speaking of bouncing, Luffy can't walk around like he normally does, because while in Gear 4, his body can only bounce around due to the amount of air inside of him. Luffy can stay in Gear 4 for a while, but once he deflates, he can't use Haki for 10 minutes. Like I said at the start, Luffy developed 2 alternate versions of Gear 4, which I'll talk about next. These were both shown off during the Whole Cake Island arc, and both were used on one of Big Mom's sweet generals. Tank Man is used when Luffy and Nami first reach Whole Cake Island and beat Brule. After spending almost half a day eating General Cracker's soldiers, Luffy becomes Nikado Avocado, and for once in the series says he can't eat anymore. Also, while doing research, someone calculated that he ate about 4.5 billion calories, which is pretty interesting. Luffy gets fed up eating Cracker's soldiers and activates Gear 4, but since he was so fat, he turns into Tank Man and absorbs Cracker into his gut and launches him off of Whole Cake Island, which most definitely killed Cracker since he was a Devil Fruit user and probably landed in the ocean. Lastly, Gear 4 Snake Man was Luffy's last resort when he was fighting Katakuri, who had advanced observation haki, allowing him to see into the future, forcing Luffy to evolve his observation haki to view in the future just like Katakuri, basically countering that advantage. Snake Man is more slim than Bounce Man and is much faster, but not as strong as Bounce Man. Snake Man only had to be fast enough to hit Katakuri and beat him, and Luffy later used Snake Man against his fight with Kaido on Onigashima, which didn't really make any sense to me because, like I said, it was not as strong as Bounce Man, just faster. I don't think speed was an issue when he was fighting Kaido. He needed more strength than speed. The Gum Fruit's true form first told to us by Zunisha, informing the readers that the drums of liberation are pounding. During Luffy's final battle against Kaido, he was once again launched off of Onigashima for the third time. But then the Gum Fruit revealed to truly be the human fruit model Sun God Nika awakened, giving Luffy the powers of the Liberation Warrior, allowing him to absolutely body Kaido. For those wondering how Luffy didn't realize this sooner, it was probably because the royal government kept the true identity of the Devil Fruit a secret, since the power was a massive threat to it, and so they probably created the fake name Gum Fruit. But the way the fruit works is that it automatically turns the user's body into rubber, since that's what the Sun God Nika's body was made out of. But its true power isn't revealed until the fruit has been awakened, giving Luffy the power of imagination. During his fight with Kaido, Luffy was able to turn his surroundings into rubber, and according to Law and Kid, made everything look like it was from a kid's picture book. Luffy was also able to infuse Armin Haki into his Gear 5, which is how Luffy defeated Kaido. As far as we've seen, overusing Gear 5 doesn't have any major side effects, it just tires out Luffy very quickly. With Luffy fighting all the pacifistas on Egghead with Rob Lucci, he seems to be using Gear 5 a lot, so maybe we'll learn more about its powers and side effects as the fight continues. When Luffy's fighting a god that can predict the future, and has having trouble fighting him, what do you think he's gonna do? Bet you didn't guess he's gonna inflate his head so that he becomes so retarded that he can't even think, and just starts dodging his attacks based off of instinct alone. This is dumb Luffy, and he becomes unconscious while fighting Enel, and just starts randomly dodging his attacks, which Enel can't predict using his observation haki. Nightmare Luffy is first shown off during Thriller Bark and hasn't been seen since he uses the power of 100 shadows that were stolen from Gecko Moria. Luffy in this form is extremely strong, having the strength and knowledge of 100 people, and fights using a katana. Luffy was able to easily stop one of Oars' strong attacks with a single hand, and is able to beat up Oars all by himself.